Okay? New technologies. OLED. Where will we see that in 2020?
Everywhere.
Yeah. You've got a chart.
It shows some OLEDs.
So everywhere is the answer?
No, it's not really the answer, but there are some things that OLEDs can do that can't be done any other way. And talk about your 3D printing application. OLEDs are kind of matched to that technology.
That's a good start. You're going to see them in other industries. First, it'll help bring the cost down for general illumination. The automotive industry is moving toward OLEDs for some of the tail lights and the interior lighting and things. It'll be in the Audis and the BMWs first because it's techy and people will be attracted to something unique and different, but that'll help bring the price down because of economics of scale. There's a slide here also that shows that, and this was from October of last year, that they're claiming that luxury luminaires and designer kits over the next few years will move into larger general illumination applications. It hasn't come as fast as the OLED industry thought that it would. We can go to the next slide, Jim. So here's an example of another use for OLEDs that'll help drive the price down because of economics of scale, and that's television sets where they provide a higher resolution and a greater saturation than LED and plasma at a lower energy consumption. But you look at that, the LG device that was released on July 22nd and available at Best Buy, the only headquarters store in Minneapolis, only one location, for $15,000. And then look at the date on Samsung's release right under it, 3 weeks later at $9,000. Wow. So race to the bottom for OLEDs, and I think we'll see some of that in our industry. And if you do one more, to answer your question about 2020, here's a technology that was shown this year that uses OLED panels with wireless power transmission. So those panels can be picked up and moved. They're very thin panels, and about 1/16 of an inch, and they can be picked up and moved anywhere you want, and they're receiving a wireless electricity. A couple other advantages for general lighting that may drive this too. An OLED in the off state can be clear like a window. And then you flip it on and it's opaque and bright at whatever color temperature you designed it to be. You can also have mirrors on one side of the OLED, because you basically got two anodes together, and one of them can be mirrored so that it's a mirror in the off state. And there are already products that have been shown, prototypes, but products that have been shown that have vanity mirrors for residential applications. You've seen this, right?
Yeah, Lightfair had some examples of it.
Control.
Yes.
So that as a person moves in front of the mirror, it knows that the person is there. It's sensing that from motion that they're there, and it turns off the lights directly in front of them, and it's a mirror in the off state.
And part of it can be the TV that you're watching while you're looking in the mirror.
Yes, yeah, and then you've seen that effect too. So those are unique advantages that architectural lighting may benefit from.
But see what's happening here. It's another example of where OLEDs lend themselves to a marriage with electronics. So who's going to do this? Is it the lighting industry or the electronics industry, or as we talked before, some hybrid organization that puts all of this together? And this tends to capture the imagination of the consumer, and they're the ones that are going to buy it, of course. And so they will tend to drive how fast this goes. It won't be energy efficiency as much as it will be what does it look like, what does it do for me, how can I integrate it with my cell phone or whatever else you want to do.
And from our standpoint, it'll also be who is making this, as you alluded to. Eastman Kodak developed this technology. Right? I talked to somebody who was on their design team. They never got it off the ground because they stayed so focused on film. You know how that turned out. Okay. But they sold this in their spin-off of everything they had to stay viable. They sold their intellectual property rights to LG in 2009. So we have some indicators, and the other name that you saw up there, I think, was Samsung, that the electronics people see this as a future product.
And I also have to say that there's some materials companies, like glass companies, that are also very interested in this because, as you saw from Mark's example, there are some new kinds of glass that are flexible and bendable. And they don't have to stay in that shape. You can fold them up.
Window treatment companies are looking at these things also.
Yeah, so there's a lot of folks in the
I could be dead wrong, but I think that IES, Lightfair, and our group of people will be talking about OLEDs a lot. I think you'll probably see an awful lot of cool fixtures, but I think from a market share perspective, you know, I think it's going to be measured in moonlights, not percentage points.
But even in 2020.
Even in 2020.